Hello students. Today we are going to discuss yet another chapter from your first flight rapid reader. It is called The Sermon at Benares. This chapter is a transcription of the first sermon that Gautama Buddha delivered at Benares after he achieved enlightenment. The city of Benares, also known as Varanasi or Kashi, is located on the banks of the Ganges in the state of Uttar Pradesh in North India. It is considered the holiest of the 7 sacred cities in both Hinduism and Jainism. It has played a significant role in the development of Buddhism. Hindus believe that death in the city will help them achieve salvation. So, it is a major site of pilgrimage. Let us take a quick look at the life of the Buddhist sage Gautama Buddha before we go to his teachings. Gautama Buddha was born as Siddhartha Gautama in Lumbini in Nepal in 563 before Christ. He grew up in Kapilavastu. At the age of 12, he went to school to learn the Hindu scriptures. 4 years later, he returned home, married a princess and had a son. At the age of 25, Prince Siddhartha came in contact with the sufferings of the world when he went out for hunting. He first encountered a sick man, then an aged man, then a funeral procession, and finally a monk begging for alms. These sights made him renounce his royal life. He became a beggar and a nomad, trying to find the cause of human suffering. After spending 7 years in this manner, he sat down under a fig tree. He resolved to meditate till he attained enlightenment. Thereafter, Siddhartha himself came to be known as Buddha. Buddha means the awakened or the enlightened one. Let us now begin with Buddha's sermon. He imparts his wisdom on the inevitable human suffering, death. The tragedy of a woman named Kisa Gautami leads us to the sermon. Kisa Gautami cannot accept the death of her only son. She carries him to her neighbors and asks for medicine that would heal him, but they all declare him dead. She finally seeks help from Gautama Buddha. A man on the streets refers her to Buddha. Kisa Gautami beseeches Buddha to save her son. He asks her to bring a handful of mustard seed. The mustard seeds must be from a household where no one has lost a family member or a loved one to death. Gautami finds no house which has not lost a loved one. Helpless, she sits on the streets and grieves. Suddenly, it strikes her that she has been selfishly preoccupied with her own sorrow. Death is common to everyone. Here's a question for you. Why do you think Buddha sends Gautami from house to house to ask for mustard seeds? He wants her to realize that death is common to every household and cannot be avoided. Gautama Buddha uses a number of metaphors to compare the life of human beings to other elements of nature. His aim is to point out that death is natural, inevitable, and unavoidable. You can be asked to comment on the main tenets of Buddha's sermon at Benares. Let us look at some highlights to help you. As ripe fruits are early in danger of falling, so mortals, when born, are always in danger of death. As all earthen vessels made by the potter end in being broken, so is the life of mortals. Through these lines, Buddha tells us how vulnerable or defenseless human life is. Both young and adult, both those who are fools and those who are wise, all fall into the power of death. All are subject to death. This implies that death does not discriminate. It affects everyone, irrespective of their merit, class, or background. Mark, while relatives are looking on and lamenting deeply, one by one mortals are carried off, like an ox that is led to the slaughter. This line highlights the cruelty and unsparing nature of death. It also links to the first of the 5 precepts or basic codes of conduct maintained by the followers of Buddhism, which says, I undertake the training precept to abstain from onslaught on breathing beings. Buddhism considers animals as sentient or sensitive beings and bans their slaughter. The wise do not grieve, knowing the terms of the world. He will make himself sick and pale, yet the dead are not saved by his lamentation. This means that wise people are informed about the ways of the world. They do not torment themselves by grieving. They know that grieving will adversely affect their health and steal their peace of mind. He who has drawn out the arrow and has become composed will obtain peace of mind. He who has overcome all sorrow will become free from sorrow and be blessed. For Gautam Buddha, attaining a peaceful state of existence is the ultimate goal. He wishes everyone to reach salvation by overcoming sorrow. With that, we come to the end of today's video. Hope you found the lesson helpful. See you soon in our next video.